such a privilege and a pleasure to actually jump in and have the chance to talk to, anyone that's associated with Brent. I'm a strong believer, Matthew, like energy is attracted to like energy, right? And so here's what I know with all, you guys hear me okay? Can you hear me all right? Here's what I know. I know, Aaron, by the way, Dwyer, great to see you, man, always. What I know is, here we are, and we're all like Brent. We're all hustling, jiving, pushing, etc. And man, oh man, how many of you guys are loving this market? Because I am absolutely in love with this market. I love what's taking place right now. And more importantly, I love that this market is for the people that are gritty, right? The people that are determined, the people that are looking to push forward. Now, one of the things, and I'm going to hit you guys with about right now 7 points. Brent, I'm going to go super fast because you and I in conversation, you said, dude, hit them with salient points. And guys, for those of you that I don't know, I've been in this game of real estate. I have had some of the best mentors. I had Mike Ferry for about 15 years. I had Gary Keller for a couple of years. I partnered with Tom Ferry for almost a decade now. And then I got the chance to align with John and work with John Cheplack for about a year. Now, guys, I'm on my own, right? I got my own gig. I got Coach Pipes in the house, right? Which is really exciting. And I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for Brent. But in working with some of the top producing agents, and I really share this with you, not to impress you, I share it with you for today to impress upon you that the 7 things that I'm going to give you right now are the 7 things that I'm working with my team leads, the 7 things that I'm working with my individual agents to be able to push them forward. And I want you to write this down for me. I want you to write down Q2 of 2023. Just write Q2 of 2023. Q2 of 2023. And I want you to write down is the most important quarter of 2023, period. Q3 of 2023 is the most important quarter of this year, period. And I believe that just like the sun's going to come up, in the east over here and set in the west for however long it's going to take place. Now, why is that? Why is it that Q2 is the most important quarter? Well, here's what I look at, okay? Right? What I look at is, number one, in this quarter, we have the chance to clean up on a lot of people that were on the fence, people that weren't taking action, people that were waiting for rates to come down, people that were waiting for inventory to creep up. And by the way, inventory has crept up by about 10% nationally right now. Altos Research just came out with some great information. Hey, Brent, I'll send that over to you, that link over to you so that you guys, can get it. But we're watching inventory begin to increase. That means more opportunity. We're watching interest rates do a little dance and drop, right? And on top of that, we're watching consumer confidence begin to actually increase. Now, next to Q2 2023, here's what I want you to write down. This is the game, guys. This is the game. Game number 1 is grab that low-hanging fruit. We're going to talk about that and what you need to do. Grab that low-hanging fruit. But game number 2, Marion, is load the cannon for the second half of the year. Load the cannon for the second half of the year. Tony, what does that mean? It means that I need to be like working harder in Q2 than probably I ever have to be able to have so many opportunities in Q3 and Q4 that, man, I'm busier than a one-arm paper hanger at that point, right? Okay. Now, I want you to write one more thing down before I get into the 7 points. I want you to write down Q3 and Q4 of 2023. Aaron, Q3 and Q4 of 2023 equals 2021. Q3 and Q4 of 2023 equals 2021. How many of you guys remember 2021, my friends? I know you guys are all badasses and freaking have been in the business and are crushing it, but it's going to be competitive. There's going to be a lot more buyers. The Fed is already talking about that interest rates are going to drop down at the end of this year. We're seeing that mortgages are being adjusted right now. Man, it is going to be fire. And so with this, with every single one of the clients that I'm working with right now, there's 7 things that I'm hitting them on right now. Okay. There's 7 things. And I want to give this to you. I want you to write this down. Write down number 1. Number 1, I need to develop a level 10 personal psychology. The first 2 things I'm going to give you are all about what's going on up here. Because Brent, you and I know that we're probably going to be working harder in the second half of this year than we ever have if we truly want to produce the results we want to produce. Okay. Listen, how many of you guys want a breakthrough for the second half of this year? And I'm talking second half of this year because we're already a third of the way through this quarter already. But how many of you are looking at 2023, the remainder of this going, damn it, I want a huge breakthrough. Were you one of those people who, when the market shifted, you said, look at me, guys, just give me one more chance of that market. right? How many of you guys said that? Next time, if that market comes around, man, I'm going to be more prepared. I'm going to be more focused. I'm going to be more determined. I'm going to work harder. Man, if I could ever get that crazy market back, I'm going to actually be more prepared. How many of you like had some thought of that? Like, you know, like when it comes back, dude, if it comes back, man, please, Jesus, bring it back, right? I'm going to be more prepared. Raise your hand, say aye. Well, guess what? I believe in the second half of this year, we're going to see that. And so you got to be more mentally strong. Now, I am doing something with every single one of my clients that is called the 1800 reset. I'll give it to you really quick, right? And this is something, if you have a team, get the team on. If you don't have a team, do it yourself, where there's 6 things that I'm having everyone do for the next 30 days to be able to put them in the right mindset. I have them working out for 10 minutes. I have them meditating for 10 minutes. So it's a workout for 10 minutes. It's a meditate for 10 minutes. It is a listen to podcast, Aaron, for 10 minutes, or something that is motivating, educating, or inspiring. On top of that, it is a write down the 10 things you're grateful for. Write down the 10 things that you're grateful for. It is a read 10 pages of a book and pray for 10 minutes, meditate for 10 minutes, manifest for 10 minutes. If you do that every single day, Brent, you and I talked about this. This is breathing life into you. This is creating you as a mental giant. This is Michael Dougal. Your dad knows this. This is you positioning yourself that when you are ready at 9 a.m. or 8:30, you're shot out of the can and ready to, like, full of piss and vinegar and ready to take on the world, period, right? Now, listen, guys, you're all badasses. You guys are on this call because you're the best of the best. But you know what? And I want you to write this down. My good has killed me from being great in many cases. My good has killed me, Bill, from being great in many cases. And what I don't want to see is all of a sudden this market get going and you guys are like, oh shit, man, I wish when Pipes talked to me, I had actually, really over-indexed on that. So we got to get mentally strong. Number 2, I wrote this down. Develop a reason why you want the second half of the year to be on fire that borders on an obsession. Matthew, that borders on an obsession. One of my favorite people on the planet is Arnold Schwarzenegger, believe it or not, right? Okay. And I love the Governator. Brett, what I love about the Governator is this. Arnold Schwarzenegger said, one of these days, when he won the Mr. Olympia over and over again, he said, one day I'm going to become governor of, I'm going to do movies, then I'll become governor of California. And who knows, maybe one day I'll be president of the United States. He says that in the movie Pumping Iron. They said, what's next for you, Bill? And this is what he said. Arnold, he said that, right? And here's what Arnold said. He said, obsessed is only a word that the lazy use to describe the dedicated. See, guys, if we're going to have all of my agents, all of my teams that I'm coaching, I am demanding of them that they are obsessed with the success of the second half of the year, Aaron, right? And so here is what I wrote down. Here's what I wrote down, the questions that I'm asking them to ask themselves, okay? Number 1, why is this why is my success, my number, whatever their number is, an absolute must for the second half of the year? An absolute must for the second half of the year, and not just a good idea. Brent, with me launching my company, I'm up till 11 o'clock at night, man, working. I'm burning the candle at both ends. I'm up at 5 a.m. I'm obsessed, right? I'm obsessed with impacting as many lives as I can to get people to 7 figures. That's what I coach on, is get you to 7 figures or add 7 figures. So why do I want that? Because I think agents deserve to earn 7 figures, period, or they deserve to add 7 figures to what it is that they're earning, right? And I see some coaches on here, and you know what I'm talking about as well, too. So why is this an absolute must? Number 2, write down, who am I playing for that really matters? Who am I playing for that really matters, Aaron? Hey, Bill Rapp, you know who I'm playing for? I'm playing for my daughter. I'm playing for my son, right? And you know who else I'm playing for? This may sound odd. I'm playing for all those mofos that said I couldn't do it as well, too, right? So all of that, helps me, the pain and the pleasure and all of that stuff, man, it drives me forward. It creates that obsession. And you got to think about it for yourself. Like, hey, of course I'm playing for me, but who else am I playing for? Right. And I think if you dig deep, you'll find that you always play harder for somebody else than you will play for yourself. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. Now here's something that one of my big mentors, anyone recognize that guy? Anyone recognize who that is?
Yeah, recognize it. Seen him. Seen it on repeat.
The man, the myth, the legend. He stays on my desk. He looks at me every single day, right? Mike Ferry said to me one time, if you're going to hit a goal, you got to ask yourself a very important question. What is it that I want and why I want it? And here's the big one. Here's your third question. What is it that I'm willing to sacrifice to have the second half of the year be my best 6 to 8 months ever? Because it's going to take a sacrifice, right? And it could be sacrificing your bullshit excuses. It could be sacrificing sleeping in. It doesn't need to be sacrificing time and energy with your family, etc. But there's something that you're going to need to give up to actually replace and put something new in. So you start with those two things, guys. You start with, hey, I need to breathe life into myself every single day with these 6 commitments. I need to get obsessed with what it is. Then from there, what we do is we go number 3. Now, number 3 is a biggie. If you guys remember, some of you I've spoken to before, you see that? This is my 3 levels of success. There's 3 S's in those circles. I believe that any great agent that's going to accomplish anything wonderful in life, right, and their business needs to have 3 things. They need to have number 1, skills, number 2, standards, and number 3, effective strategies. That's the basis of what I coach to, Brent, is helping people build their skills, assisting them in developing standards, which are, commitments, rituals, disciplines that are non-negotiable, and then helping them build incredible strategies inside their business. Well, I just gave you a strategy for you to have the right mindset. I'm now going to give you a standard that I believe every single one of you needs to have, that my agents have to have, that I push hard on them. And here is the standard. Write down, I need to develop a minimum standard of 1 hour a day of lead gen, no exceptions. No exceptions. No exceptions. And honestly, Brent, dude, I think, Michael, 1 hour a day is survival. 2 hours a day, you may want to write this down. 1 hour survival, peeps. 2 hours is growth. 3 hours, Matthew, I saw you hold up the 3. That's where the damn breakthrough occurs. And if you just said, bro, for the next 90 days, I'm 3 hours a day. Holy shiz. Could you imagine what the second half of the year would be? Oh, but coach, that's going to be hard. I got a picture of David Goggins and myself, arm in arm up here, looking at, each other at an event that he was at with me. And David says, choose your hard, right? And what I'll tell you is this: 1 hour a day ain't hard. 2 hours a day ain't hard. 3 hours a day ain't hard in comparison to the hard of not being able to do the things that you want to do in your life and do it with the people that you want to do it with. What's hard is not having the freedom to be able to make the choices that you want to make, right? What's hard is my daughter, Brent, just broke something on me. She said, Dad, I want to be a writer. I said, that's awesome, Sophia. I love it. Okay. And she said, and I want to go to the University of Chicago. And I said, that's fantastic. And then I looked at the University of Chicago. Guess how much 1 year at the University of Chicago for her to become a writer is? $85,000 a year. Aaron, here's what I said to her. Baby, I'll give you $150,000 to go travel the world for 4 months, or for 4 years, go experience life, and then have something to write about. She goes, no, I want to go to college. I went, damn, I need to work on my presentation. But look, so, but I know if I'm me, I'm prospecting right now. I'm like you guys. I'm grabbing clients. I'm building up my business. I'm 2 hours, maybe Bill, 3 hours a day on the phone talking to potential people for coaching, right? I'm doing the same thing that you guys are doing, right? And I know the more I sweat right now, the less I'm going to bleed in the future, so to speak. Does that make sense, guys? So 3 hours a day is, for me, like the breakthrough that's waiting to happen. Number four, write down, I love this point. I need to focus more on educating my clients and leads and less on closing and old school selling them. I need to focus more on educating my clients and leads and less on the hardcore closing and the hardcore selling. Well, what does that mean? Well, Clark, my belief is this. What I teach, Brent, is a style of selling called education-based, data-driven selling. Education-based, data-driven selling, Robin. What does that mean? It means that I prospect to find motivated people. Once I find that motivated person, then my job is to educate them over multiple conversations about what's taking place in the market, what's occurring, what's happening locally, what's happening nationally, what the trends are, so that they can take their motivation and then make an educated decision based upon their level of motive to act. Does that make sense, guys? Okay. And the more time that I spend, now I want you to write something down for me, please. Okay. I'm going to give you a couple of things. Write down A. I need to spend 15 minutes a day studying the market. Every single one of you guys on this call, I know you're really smart, but you need to take 15 minutes a day studying the market. What are you studying? You're studying Real Trends. Real Trends is amazing right now in terms of what they're putting out. Altos Research is one of my favorites. You need to study Keeping Current Matters. You need to study Housing Wire. You need to listen to, you just need to be gobbling up as much information so that you can turn around and control the narrative for the clients to offset the bullshit that the media is giving them that says now is not a good time to buy. Is now a great time to buy, guys? Yes or no? It's absolutely fantastic. Then number 2, or B, so spend 15 minutes a day grabbing that data, writing it down. B, write down, then craft intelligent conversations that show the market trends and answers the buyer and seller's concerns and hallucinations. Craft intelligent conversations, scripts, dialogues for yourself, for your team that shows the market trends and answers the buyers and sellers' most common questions. Hey, Brent, by the way, I'm going to back up on something here really quick. I know I got 2-3 more minutes. I am launching this prospecting challenge on May the 8th. That's called Monday Mayhem, where for 4 weeks on every Monday, like across the nation, there's probably going to be 1,000 people that are prospecting for a full day on May the 8th, the 15th, the 22nd, and the 30th. Now look at what I just did. I put it on the 30th, which is the day after Memorial Day, to tell everyone, hey, mofos, I don't give a crap that you're just coming off vacation. Let's show how determined we are by coming back from vacation and doing a full day of prospecting. So there's a Facebook page called Monday Mayhem. Like, I would love anyone that wants to be involved with that. It's just me being able to get you guys and give you an excuse to be able to prospect and to do the hard. Because when you do the hard, Benny, you're doing it again, baby. I love it because a lot of you did it. When you do the hard for a day, that 3 hours becomes easy. You do 6 hours, 2 hours is a piece of cake. Okay. And last but not least, in terms of this, focus more on educating your clients and leads and less on closing and selling. Write down, I need to have that conversation at least 6 times with every lead. Well, why don't they get it the first time? Well, because it takes 6 rotations of a conversation before a human being begins to adopt a new way of thinking, guys. Do any of you guys have kids? That's not my data. That's actually by Johns Hopkins University data that they actually have that says it's 6 rotations. Anyone have kids? You tell them one time and they do their shit? Wouldn't that be great? Marguerite, wouldn't it be great? Awesome. Hey, can you clean up your room? Bang, the room is clean. No, it's 6 rotations, right? For one thing. Their clients are the same way. And we have to offset the baloney that they're hearing from CNN, Fox, CNBC, Epic News, all the different channels. Write down for me number 5. Number 5. 62% of all buyers are going to work with the first agent that they meet with. 62% of all buyers, 62% of all buyers are going to work with the first agent that they meet with. They're only going to interview one agent and they're going to work with that agent. So I would encourage all of you. And by the way, Brent, I can send over 2 scripts that can get people to get appointments to you if you want it, and you can get it out to all of these rock stars. 2 conversations that you can use to be able to take those people that are August, September, October, November, and to be able to actually get them to act right now. Why do we want that? Okay. We want that because if I can get in front of them, I've now loaded the cannon with really good people who I have a relationship with that I've gotten face-to-face or Zoom to Zoom with, right? And I got a higher probability, 62% of converting them in the second half of the year, right? I'm grabbing that low-hanging fruit with the people right now and showing them why now is a great time to buy or sell. And I'm grabbing that a little bit further out by priming the pump with them, getting in front of them, even if they're October, November, September purchases, or September, October, November sellers. Make sense, guys? So I'll get that over to you, BG, so that you guys can get it out to it. Okay. And here's the last bit. Write down for me number 6, and then I'm going to get out of here. I need to lean into accountability like I never have before in my life. I need to lean into accountability like I never have before in my entire life. The greats don't wait for accountability. The greats look for accountability. So that means if I were all of you, create the plan, what we talked about here today, get the scripts, use the scripts, get the scripts to your team, engage in the prospecting, whether it's Monday Mayhem with what I'm launching or on your own, right? But if there is no pressure in your life, Wayne Dyer said, you never will create diamonds in your life. So the more pressure you can create, the less pressure that the market will put on you in the future. All right, my friends. Brent, I know I went over by 2 minutes. I apologize. You know me, I could go for 2 hours with you guys. So, but guys, you got to choose which one of these you want to engage in. At least choose 1, choose 2, 3, 4, 5, but choose the one that you think will have the greatest impact and over-index on that. Brother, thank you so much, man.
Bill, it was fantastic, man. I loved it. Hey, we have a flyer. For those of you in Northern California, this is next month, May 25th, and we are doing 10 to noon at the Placer County Board of Realtors. Bill Pipes is going to be there. We're going to have the biggest turnout we've ever had in the history of PCAR. We're going to have 500 plus in attendance. Do not miss that. If you're smart, you'll be there with 10, 20 guests, not just people in your group, but guests. They're going to be enamored by the energy and the mojo in that room. And it's going to open up conversations. Okay, tell me about EXP. This is cool. It's how you grow. The rest of you, we will record it and put that out on my YouTube channel. Bill Pipes, love you, man. You were so great. Are you still here, Bill?
I'm leaving, man. I got to get out of here. I'm headed up to Park City to speak, dude. So
if people want to connect to you and work with you, how do they reach you?
Just go to my thank you, Brent. Just go to my website, coachpipes.com, and just press on it says, let's coach. And all that is an exploratory opportunity for us to discuss your business. And if nothing else, for us to connect. So I honestly love you guys. I appreciate you, Brent.
You're awesome.
My friends. Q2, baby. Let's go. Thanks, guys. Bye-bye.
Coachpipes.com. You guys, will see you next Tuesday at 1:30 Pacific for the 1% Club and 2:10 Pacific for Mastering Sales with Brent Gove. I know I wussied out and chickened out with jet lag and had Bill Pipes cover me today, but he was good. Admit it. All right. I love you all. We'll see you from South Africa.
Have fun out there, Brent. Be safe.
I will have crazy stories about being chased by lions, hippos, and crocodiles. Trust me, it's going to happen.
Hey, just don't get caught.
Thanks, Brent.
I know. Trust me.
We don't want you to get eaten.
I just got to outrun Gene. I got to outrun Gene. That's all I got to do here. I got to play.
Yeah, you don't have to be fastest. You just have to be faster than the slowest.
Be good. B Gove is going to be motoring. See ya.
Bye.